Okay, the next of the Memches Dvarim of the 48 ways is called Mimiut Sicha, when a person begins to limit their sicha, their conversation, their speech. And the Tiferes Yisrael says on those words, Devarim shel ma bekach, those are words of almost non-consequential words, umiutai yafel l'Torah, but a little bit of conversation, a little bit of speech, a little bit of schmoozing, says the Tiferes Yisrael, that's not so bad for Torah. A person who knows how to have a little bit of a schmooze before they sit down to learn, not in the middle of learning, of course, but before they sit down to learn, and after they sit down to learn, they can talk and have conversation. It relaxes a person, it calms them down, and then they're able to learn better. However, the other Mefarshim are not as kind as the Tiferes Yisrael is, and they say the following. In all forms of conversation, all forms of talking, a person needs to limit that which they say. Whether it is mundane speech, even in Limud Torah when they're learning. Even when it comes to words of Torah, a person should speak as brief as they possibly can, and it should be nikiya, should be clean speech, and it should be v'kal, it should be smooth, easy speech as well. If you look in the history of the writings of all of our great sages, you notice that from the times of the Rishonim, let's say Rashi, the Ramban, the Rambam, especially Rashi, and Rashi was very succinct in the words that he used. The Rashis on the side of the Gemara, the Rashis in the Chumash, very often are small. He doesn't say a lot of words. As you go later down in history, so the later Rishonim, the Achronim, they start talking more. You get down to the Sfarim of today, there's lots and lots and lots of pages. The farther back you go, the more that they were able to express themselves in less words, the less words had to be said. And the Rambam writes like this, a person should increase their shtika, their silence. And they shouldn't speak. They shouldn't speak excessively in the Torah, and certainly not in the things that they need for their bodily living in this world. Amru al Rav Talmid Rabbeinu HaKadosh. So he quotes the Gemara about the student of Rabbeinu HaKadosh. Shaloi sach sicha betela kol yamav. He never said one word of sicha betela, of extraneous words, all of his life. It's hard to imagine such a human being, especially Bizman Hazeh. It's very hard to imagine such a thing. But there once upon a time was a man named Rav, and Rav never spoke any extra, meaningless, foolish word in his life. V'zui sichas roiv kol olam. And really, sicha betela, wasted words, is the conversations of the majority of the world. If you walk around and you listen, you overhear what people are saying, the majority of conversations are sicha betela. Even when you need something. Don't say too much. Our sages commanded us. Anybody who speaks excessively, maybe they will bring sin upon themselves. Whatever exactly it means, you'll end up saying things that you should not have said. You'll end up saying lashon hara. You'll put somebody else down. You'll make somebody feel bad. You'll get involved in things. You'll miss davening. You'll miss learning. All the different things that happen when a person is involved in the heavy conversations. It's not good. It says furthermore, I never found anything better for my body, except for silence. Silence is the key to success. The words of man should be brief, but our actions, what we're involved with, that should be a lot. Our sages teach us, even when a Rebbe speaks over to his students to explain to them what exactly the Gemara means, what the Rashi means, what the Tosfos means, they should try to do it in as brief a way as possible, because the less words that are being said, the easier it's going to be for the student to be able to concentrate and understand, and it will go in. And then he brings, and I'll quote two more things. He brings in the Ruach Chaim with the Rav Chaim Volozhiner, Torah is acquired by decreasing the amount that you speak. Like it says in Chazal, Shekol sicha b'teila listen, these frightening words over here. Shekol sicha b'teila shenichneses l'teich ozno shel adam. Any words of b'teila, just foolish words, wasted words, non-consequential words that enter into the ears of a person, say Chazal, Yotzei kenegdoi diber shel Torah. When the words of sicha b'teila, of empty words, are going into your ears, it pushes out the other ear, divrei Torah that was already inside of there. You imagine, you go to a shir, you learn for a good 20 minutes, half an hour, 40 minutes. Imagine you heard like 1,000 words of Torah, and then you walk out of the shir, and you and your friends stand in the parking lot for 25 minutes and solve all the world's problems. Every political situation, every world disorder, and the homeless problem on the streets. For 25 minutes, you have to count up how many words you said during those 25 minutes. It's just pushing the words of Torah out of the other ear. Rachmana litzlan. Now, Rav Chaim Kanievsky brings down in his Sefer Orches Yosher the following Chazal. At the time that a HaKadosh Baruch Hu decided to create a particular person, or any person, at the time that Hashem decided to create somebody, Hashem has already decreed how many conversations this person will have in his life. How many words he's going to say. When a person is just Hashem is deciding to create Ploni, to create Yankel over here, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is already deciding how many words he's going to say in his life. King David says, Ki ein mila b'lashoni, hein Hashem yadanta kulo. I don't have any extra words in my mouth. HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows everything. V'im yedaber yosim midai. And therefore warns Rav Chaim Kanievsky, if a person speaks more than necessary, Yesh lachosh sheyigamer diborav shenigzar alav, they should be concerned and worried that maybe they said over more words than were decreed upon them already. And if the gas runs out of the tank, so then the car is not going to run anymore. Says Rav Chaim Kanievsky, based on these words of this Midrash HaGadol, that if a person would understand that every word that we say is being measured, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is keeping track because he already decided how many words are in your gas tank, you'd be very careful what you say. If a person is talking and talking and talking and talking excessively, so maybe those words are being taken out of the fuselage, and they're in big trouble if they get to if it says empty on that tank. And then he quotes over here from the Chazon Ish. And the Chazon Ish said, Al shtika ein mischartin. On silence, a person never has to have any regrets. If you talk and you open your big mouth and you say more than you should, on there we'll find plenty of ways to regret. But when it comes to silence, nobody can ever have charata, can ever have any regret over the silence there. Now, it might be uncomfortable for people sometimes. They don't like, they want to hear, what do you have to say? Why are you so quiet? Because Chazal say, Loi metzasi leguf toiv, I found nothing better than myself than shtika, than silence. So, Be'ez Hashem, as we're moving through the 48 ways, we will keep all these very wonderful ideas in mind. This is certainly something that we have to work on in today's generation that talks, and everybody has opinions, and everybody wants to hear what they have to say. Say Chazal, it's the exact opposite. If we're memayit, if we decrease the amount of sicha, the words that we have, that will increase our abilities to be able to learn Hashem's Torah.